working his heart out there. So kudos to him.
Absolutely. And just after that, Paul Martin will be called for interference. Just a few seconds into that power play, Scott Hartnell scores from the side of the net and would once again tie the game, this time at 2. And a few seconds after that, Claude Giroux would score and put the Flyers up by 1, so a 3-2 lead after that. A few minutes later, I thought a really bad no call with a high stick to James Neal. They called it a follow-through and incidental contact. What was your impression of that call, partner?
Well, there have been plenty penalties that have been mentioned that are incidental contact, but if the stick impacts the face, it's supposed to be a high sticking call.
Not just that, but he also drew blood, and I think that should be factored into the equation. And it was definitely a call that should be argued. No more goals in the second period, and Pittsburgh would go to the third down by 1. Third period, it seemed like the momentum would swing completely in the direction of the Flyers as they would score again. This time it would be Ville Leno making it 4-2 in favor of the Flyers. Then just again, a few minutes later, Leno would score at 8:38 of the third, making it a 5-2. Partner, it seems like after that second goal by Philadelphia, the energy was just zapped from the Pens. What do you think happened?
Well, if you look, it's not just this game or the fact that we were down. Our scoring in the third period, especially over the last 10 games, has been way down. We need to be able to score goals in the third period. That's a big issue.
Absolutely, and they're going to have to start scoring a bit more in regulation. Of course, no shootouts in the playoffs, and Marc-Andre Fleury had an off night tonight, and it just goes to show you exactly how important Marc-Andre Fleury is to this Penguins team. Oftentimes, as Marc-Andre Fleury goes, so do the Penguins. So the Penguins lose this one tonight, a pivotal game, but the Penguins come up short after winning 4 straight. Partner, what do you think? Was there a key moment or a specific play that might have lost this game tonight for the Pens?
It was the lack of momentum for me at the end of the second period, the missed call, and then the inability to score in the third period. I think those are the 2 biggest issues.
Well, an unfortunate loss tonight, but the Penguins can look forward to taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning Thursday to try to rebound from this game, and we'll have more on that game later. All right, folks, we're going to take our first break. When we return, we're going to have the latest on Penguins captain Sidney Crosby. Stay tuned. We've got more rolling your way on the Iceberg. Welcome back, folks. Well, every day, Sidney Crosby gets a little closer to returning. He continues to skate now for long lengths of time, as much as 45 minutes, do on-ice drills, work out off the ice. According to Rob Rossi of the Pittsburgh Tribune, the Penguins organization is expecting to hear the words cleared to play as soon as the end of this week. By the way, that is a great article that Rob Rossi wrote. We'll have that on our Facebook page a little later if you're interested in reading it. So, the team, the staff, no doubt, eyeing a return for that first series in the playoffs. But Crosby's agent would come out just a day later and say, Sidney's going to return when he's healthy, no sooner than that, and there's still no timetable for his return. Well-documented struggles on the power play for the Penguins tonight and in the past few games. Do you expect Sidney Crosby will be able to invigorate that power play and possibly score some goals with the man advantage and get the Penguins' power play to the point where, it's one of the most respected ones in the league?
Well, I think it's not a question of if Sid will score, but when Sid will score. So I think we're looking at seeing him for playoff time, and I've said that before, that I don't think we'll see him for the rest of the regular season. But as soon as the playoffs start, I think he's going to be a driving force for our playoff unit this year.
Absolutely. And another big part of Sid's return that, you don't hear a whole lot mentioned is Chris Letang. Before the injuries to Crosby and Malkin, he was having an incredible season, getting points on a regular basis, getting pucks in the net, and I still think he belongs in the Norris Trophy discussion, along with players like Nick Lidstrom, Keith Yandel, Lubomir Wisnowski. But since the injuries, his production has slowed quite a bit. Now, we discussed last week whether or not Crosby would be able to pick up where he left off, but the same question I think could be asked for Chris Letang. Partner, do you think he'll be able to score as efficiently as he was able to when Crosby and Malkin were up when Crosby returns?
Absolutely. And I think the main role for Letang is that pass from the point to the slot where Crosby or Malkin or one of those major players would be. and the inability to have him pass to that slot, if nothing else, has affected his game. So he's still got a major plus-minus. He's still out there doing a lot of great work. So I think as soon as we get Crosby back, Letang's points will go up as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know one thing. I can't wait to hear the deafening ovation at the console when Sid returns. All right, folks, we're going to take a short intermission. When we come back, we're going to talk playoffs. That includes playoff matchups, playoff lines, and more. Stay tuned right here on the Iceberg. Welcome back. The Penguins clinched a playoff berth a few nights ago with a win over the New Jersey Devils, and, of course, when the Carolina Hurricanes lost that game to Tampa Bay in the second game of a back-to-back for those two teams. Now, Penguins fans mainly looking at a pair of teams in the first round between Tampa Bay, Montreal. Which do you think is a better matchup for the Penguins?
I think we're about even as far as those matchups go, because we've had a decent number of wins against Tampa Bay and a decent number of wins against Montreal. Honestly, it's very close. I would probably say Tampa Bay, who we're set to match up against if nothing changes, would probably be the better option for the Penguins.
Absolutely, and one of those things that makes Dan Bylsma so unique as a coach is the way he arranges his lines. A lot of fans question that Talbot centering that Neil Kovalev line the other night, but ended up working out. Penguins would win that Panthers game. So he likes to shake it up. He likes to experiment. But going into the playoffs, do you think that Dan may have to change his strategy and keep some consistency with his lines in the playoffs?
I think that you're going to see more random-style Dan Bylsma type changes that you've seen over the course of the regular season this year and previous years that he's been a coach for us. So definitely you'll see changes. I don't know if they'll be predictable changes or not, but the strategy overall will mostly remain the same at the core level.
Absolutely. And it's actually amazing how successful he's been in trying these new lines and new combinations of players, and it's a testament to how well coached this team is, and it's a testament to the Dan Bylsma system. Partner, what lines would you like to see going into the playoffs? Who do you think will center Neil and Kovalev?
I think it's going to be Sidney Crosby. I mean, that's a stretch and a reach, and we still don't know about his condition, but I think you're going to see a Kovalev, Neil, and Crosby line.
Absolutely, and there's no doubt that that line will certainly be productive offensively. There have been so many injuries to the Penguins this year, but, while injuries are never a good thing, some good can come from them. This year, with all the call-ups, we've had a chance to see and how well they fit into this NHL roster and how well they're doing in Bylsma's system. Guys like Chris Connor, Dustin Jeffrey, Brett Sterling, throughout all the adversity we face, we've really got a chance to see truly how deep this Pittsburgh team is, all the way down to the minors, and having mentioned this kind of play time for these players is really seasoning them for next season and also for the playoffs, and having this kind of adversity and having them play under so much pressure is really seasoning them for the hardest kind of competition. Partner, which of these guys would you like to see start for the Penguins come next season when everybody's healthy?
Well, I'm really hoping that we can get Brooks Orpik for another season, Chris Letang back, of course, Kennedy, Tyler Kennedy especially, Jordan Stahl, and, of course, Sidney Crosby.
What do you think of the rookies? Which of the rookies of the call-ups from Wilkes-Barre would you like to see start on this Penguins roster next year?
I would really like to see Mark Letestu back. He's recovered from injury pretty quickly. He's new to the Pens. He's having a great season so far. We've already re-signed him, so Letestu is the obvious choice. As a backup goalie, I think I might like to see Brad Thiessen come up, actually, from Wilkes-Barre again, if Johnson, of course, is unable to play for any reason.
Absolutely, and Mark Letestu, given that Rookie of the Year award from the Penguins, so, definitely a deserving candidate to stay up next year. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Marc-Andre Fleury, the season he's had, and his place in the Vezina race. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Marc-Andre Fleury has done so much for the Pens this year. He's been a big part of the Penguins' success without their stars, Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Yet it seems he's a bit downplayed. When you hear about the Vezina race, you hear names like